Alright, hey everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to The King's Speech. So a few housekeeping items before we jump into my second reaction review series of the week. So I just finished recording my reaction review to Haikyuu, which is uploading now. And it's so good. I can't wait for you all to see my reaction to that. But apart from that, like I mentioned in my Haikyuu video, I am going to be on break so I'm going to be on vacation from work and stuff for the next few weeks. So hopefully that means I'll be able to catch up on my deficit of, Alita and Vinland Saga read-through videos. So hopefully over this upcoming week I'll kind of make up for, the kind of spotty content droppings I've done the past few weeks to catch up for a little bit. Like I said in the Haikyuu video as well, I'm going to be adding a new read-through series to my content going forward because Wandering Sun didn't work out exactly how I wanted to, so I thought I'd add a new series to kind of replace and make up for that. So that's new series is going to be Yona of the Dawn, which has been on my read-through list for a while now. I've heard a lot of good things about it, so I'm excited to dive into that. So hopefully that read-through video will be out sometime tomorrow. But apart from that, we're going to dive into OP right now. And just a little forewarning that I was spoiled on a little bit of this upcoming chapter. And I'm going to try to keep an open mind when I'm going into the actual chapter itself. Because the bit I got spoiled on almost read like a fake spoiler, so because it read like it was so satirical to me, I almost thought it was a fake spoiler, but apparently it's not. So this should be an interesting reaction review to that stuff. But like I said, I'm gonna keep an open mind, and maybe I'll be surprised at how good this chapter is. But without further ado, let us jump into One Piece chapter 960, introducing Kozuki Oden. And you see Gang Bej's Oh My Family, Volume 10, On the Search, Find Lola. And you have Bej doing, his terrible disguise as you see what I assume are the Marines. Oh no, it's Gaudi. Sorry, it's Gaudi with his little arm bandaged up off to the side as he's going around showing posters trying to find Lola. And you see him approaching two women who look like her from the back. One of them looks like one of the women from the Amazon tribe. But apparently Oda's going to do a whole shtick of this, of them trying to find Lola and where she's gone. So whatever. This is not a particularly interesting cover story for me. So we have lush deep forests as far as the eye can see. And you see just a covering of greenery and flowers and trees everywhere, where flowers and plants grow thick and verdant from the pure coursing river water leading to the crystal blue sea. This is a story of Wano, from the time when life was still abundant. And you see fishermen catching some fish going, I caught one! And you see some deers and some boars next to the little waterfall river. And you see, it's true, I saw it, the mountain was moving! It's like, the mountain? That's right, we were running for our lives from a moving mountain just now. It was groaning at us. And so you see this little tea shop, you see these three samurai sitting outside. And you see waitress at tea house at the Cape, Miss Suru. And she goes, that might be the work of the mountain god. Hey, so Suru, when she was younger, looks like another Robin clone again. Like, I should not be surprised at this point for Oda's design stuff, but what do you know? And you see these three samurai just eating some dango and drinking some tea, going, as Suru goes, but why is it that you three look so pleased? And they're like, we just can't hide anything from you, Suru. Okay, we'll let you in on a little secret. Oh, okay, we'll let you in on the secret, Osuru, but only for you. See, the truth is, we finally caught the legendary animal we've been looking for. It took us an entire year of searching. Look at this little guy. And you see them open up this treasure chest with this cute looking little boar inside. And Suru's like, oh, what a beautiful white boar. And the samurai go, if we take this boar to the capital, we could get a whole platinum for him. And Osuru's shocked. He's like, 1 platinum coin? That's enough to build a gorgeous home. And they go, the Kurakama boss wants the legendary white boar to display outside of his place for all to see. There was a bounty on the beast, but no one was ever able to find it. As a sideshow? No. White boars are the agents of the gods. He's like, ah, da ha ha. Oh, you're so sweet. It's just a rare creature, that's all. And you see, oh, just a moment, as she hears a katunk coming from inside the shop. And she sees a snag, as you see blonde-haired young Kinemon. And Osuru just got his hand behind, dragged his hands behind her. She knocks him to the ground. And she goes, you were just taking money from my purse again, weren't you? Fess up, Kinemon. Kinemon's like, ah, stop, Miss Suru. We've known each other since we were kids. Come on, your brother in spirit needs some cash. And she goes, since when were you my brother? You're out of money because you gambled it away. Do you know how much money you owe me already? The next time you try to steal from me, I will collect what's mine by selling your organs. And you have Kinemon just making this face at Suru's threat. It takes off running with the Gya! And she goes, if you can't pay me back, I'm going to shake you down for everything you've got on you, clothes included. You see the samurai making off with, well, Osuru, thanks for the food. We'll just leave the payment here on the table. And you see the next page, ah! And one of the men, you see his face is bloody. He goes, it's you, the man we just saw. He's like, wah, ha, 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 ha. Did you think I couldn't bear to hear you blabbing on and on? Thanks for your tip about your boar worth 1 platinum. Looks like today's my lucky day. And you see Thug from the capital, Kinemon. He's got his sword out and it looks like Suru literally did strip him of all his clothes except for his loincloth. He goes, I feel like I just won the lottery. All I have to do is hand over this over to the Kurokama boss and he said, Bwachu! Hey you, give me your clothes and your wallets. And you see the next page. Well, it seems that Lord Oden has no talent for sailing. He's attempted to break our laws and sail to sea. I believe this is 38 times now. I'm amazed he survived them all. Oh my god. So you see Shogun of Wano Kozuki Sukiyaki, Oden's father, looking like a mirror image of Orochi. So I'm expecting that the reveal will eventually be that Orochi is either Sukiyaki's, bastard son, or it'll turn out Orochi is, Oden's brother, Sukiyaki's father, Oden's uncle. Subtle, Oda is not trying to be with this. You have the retainer going to quickly sum up his life thus far. Before the age of 1, he threw his wet nurse to the ground. At age 2, he was quick enough to catch 2 hares at once. At age 4, he obliterated a bear by hurling a boulder at it. By age 6, he was regularly visiting the pleasure halls and spending the palace's money. Oh my god. So this was the part I got spoiled on. And I'll kind of talk about this at the end because I have thoughts about, male Big Mom. At the age of 8, in a drunken rage, he engaged in a brawl with other gamblers. And by 9, he was on the Yakuza blacklist, forbidden from entering the gambling den. In revenge, he set fire to the den and waged war on the Yakuza. He was arrested for assault, and this was just at 10 years of age. For rehabilitation as a prisoner, he was sent to the quarry where his talent blossomed. In fact, he rose to the rank of chief stonemason. That's the Kozuki blood in him. From there, he left prison and reformed his ways. When Lord Oden was 14, the capital was in a terrible drought. Unable to bear the sight of people suffering from dried-out wells, he curved the river itself to run through the capital. The resulting flood damages led to another warrant for his arrest. But Lord Oden attempted to ride that river directly out of the country, at which he also failed. And you see Sukiyaki just kind of going like this as he's listening to all these reports. It's like, then when he was 15, he threatened the priest of a secluded mountain temple into sheltering him. You see, wow, yeah. He would abduct women from the capital late at night to take back to his own personal harem. And you see Sukiyaki going, it's like something a spirit or a goblin would do. I should add, however, that the women were always free to leave if they wanted to. This, however, provoked the ire of the men in those women's lives. Fathers, husbands, hardy samurai who joined their cause. Lord Oden gleefully met them in a battle. This is widely known now as the Harem War. Even the Hyogoro family was drawn into the fighting when he attempted to restore peace. The total number of casualties Lord Oden was caused by Lord Oden single-handedly was over, and Sukiyaki goes, enough, I've heard enough. And he goes, yes, sire, Lord Oden is now 18, and he continues to stir up trouble at a healthy rate. And so you see this shogun going, say nothing to Oden, just give him this. And you see Sukiyaki give him a piece of paper with disowned written on it. And you see, don't let him get away this time. He went that way, it's Kinemon. You see Kinemon running off with the boar going, now, just a moment, I say. I'm about to come into a big sum of cash. And you have these samurai going, we know you're lying, you cheater. And he goes, it's true, just let me go to the Kurokama family mansion. And you see Elder Boss Hyogoro with his little sword, back when he was, buff and tall, going, Kinemon, the kid who stole our money. Catch him and flay all the skin off his body. Just don't fight him man to man. He's stronger than any of you. And his men are like, ha, nice joke, boss. We'll catch him in no time. And you see, you bought the wrong pot? Well, the larger kind will cost you 60 silver. And so he's like, yeah, so will you take back the 30 silver pot I bought earlier in exchange? It's like, yes, of course. And I already paid you 30 silver when I first bought this one. Plus the value of the pot makes 60 silver. So I'll take the big one. That checks out. Pleasure doing business. And you see, orphan of the capital, Denjiro, who looks nothing like Kiyoshiro. So I guess that puts to rest all the theories regarding, him being Denjiro. You gotta be kidding me. He just built 30 silver off that guy. Wake up, General Store. He's like, hey, Denjiro. It's like, huh? And you see the shopkeeper going, what the? How come I only have 30 silver now? And you see Crematory Flower Capital. Sir Samurai, please, you must stop him. You see someone crying, Grandpa Katsuzo. It's like, there, don't cry. Then again, it is a funeral, so crying's expected. It's like, what's the matter? It's like, the cremation is finished, so the family was going to go in to collect the bones. But look at him. He's boiling a pot of Oden over my father's remains. It's like, Oden, you say? And you see Oden, putting a pot of Oden on this dead guy's pyre and just bubbling up and eating it. See, Lord Oden is like, He's like, now I have to fay, hum. I can't even tell what he's saying. Get away from father's remains. He's disgracing my father-in-law's death. It's like, huff. And you see Wano Shogun's heir, Kozuki Oden. And you see him gulping it down and just taking a swig from the alcohol as he's eating some more. And he just lifts up the pot and just downs the rest of the broth. He goes, whew, so long then. And he goes, plunk, as he drops the bottle of alcohol into the pyre. And he goes, the next drink we share together will come in the afterlife, Katsuzo. And now, if the family will pardon my interruption. And you see someone running after him going, I'm sorry, he never explains himself. Feel like we're supposed to recognize who that is, but I have no idea. See, what is that? What was going on? And of course you have the women going, oh my, what a man. And the others going, oh no, stop the wives and daughters. So that's one of the legendary Oden speeches. Oh my god. This is so painful. And you see, have you come here to apprehend me? He's like, yes, but I'll accept a bribe too. Like, you're not supposed to say it. What's going on here? No one's avoiding me like usual. It seems just like a fire that got them preoccupied. The bells have been ringing. And you see Oden calling up to the watchtower going, hey, is it a big fire? He's like, it's not the fire that's big. He's like, do you know what that is, Kin? You shouldn't be carrying that thing around. What, this white boar? And you see Denjiro and Kinemon have met up. And Denjiro goes, don't you think the Kurokama boss is trying to use it to destroy the Hyogoro family? He's like, what do you mean, Denjiro? I mean that wherever that piglet is found, the adult boar is sure to come charging. The ancient scroll says it's a white boar the size of a mountain. That's what they call the mountain god. There's a story about it destroying an entire village in the course of a night several hundred years ago. I always thought it was just a tale, but now that I've seen this white boar for myself, the big one must be... And you see, the mountain god is real. We'll all be devoured. Many have succumbed already. Abandon the capital. Flee for your lives. And you see a giant Zadoom and an explosion as something's tearing through the capital. And you see this giant boar that's just eating up all the houses in its way. And you have Denjiro going, it's come for revenge! And then Kinemon just crying, oh, did I accidentally doom the capital? And then you see Oden just standing next to him going, that was a fascinating story you just said, whoever you are. And they're like, Kozuki Oden? Give that boar to me. He's like, huh? Ba-bang. And we have next chapter hits November 1st. Okay, so let's go through this one at a time, I guess, from the beginning, so I can get through my thoughts on this. So the whole, like, at the beginning with the lush deep forest, you know, Wano being like a veritable paradise, this has been a theory that's been passed around the fandom a lot now. Something I also personally supported was the idea that, you know, since we've now seen that Wano's become kind of polluted, and the only area that's, you know, beautiful is the flower capital. A lot of people have speculated about the end of the arc we'll see the land being kind of restored to its former glory. You know, like we'll see all the trees and everything kind of brought back to life and everything like that. And the two going theories have either been that Vegapunk will somehow be involved in helping to restore the land, or the other one I've heard is that, you know, Green Bull will have some kind of nature power that will also help kind of restore the land back to how it was, you know, in the prime of Wano. So seeing in the flashback now makes it seem more likely like we're going to see that at the end of the arc, and we're going to see Wano return to, you know, back to where it was. I wish Osuru didn't look so much like a Robin clone when she was younger. There's like a few panels where you can see kind of like the eye shape is reminiscent of where she looks like, you know, as in when she looks like in the present time now. But I wish Oda had kind of kept that uniqueness for her earlier design, and he didn't just kind of default back to his generic, you know, pretty woman design. But I probably shouldn't be too surprised that that's what he went with, because, you know, it's Oda. I also don't really, like, yeah, Kinemon and Osuru are a fine couple, but I don't really see them in the same light as, you know, a couple like Neptune and Otohime, who was more like, I more loved seeing them together. And Kinemon and Osuru just doesn't have that same impact to it. And Oda trying to do the whole, like, you know, meet cute thing of, oh, they used to be neighbors and, you know, they fell in love and all that. Like, I appreciate the attempt for him to finally try to give some more depth to Kinemon's character and flesh him out, because he sorely needs it, having almost no personality, even though he's been with us for, what, 3+ arcs now? So we'll see what his character progression is going from here, you know, from thug to respected retainer of Oden. I already talked about the Sukiyaki stuff and about him looking like Orochi, so that's probably going to come into play later. And then now we get into the parts of the chapter where, when I first read the spoilers for this, you know, I was spoiled on this, and I read this little description talking about, Oden being, the male big mom. And, being like, oh, he's so super strong and so manly. He killed a bear by the time he was 5 or 6 or whatever the hell it was. Yeah, so 4, he obliterated a bear. By age 6, he was going and hiring out sex workers in the red light district and spending money. And, by 8, he was drinking. What a manly man. When I read this the first time, I almost thought this was supposed to be like a satirical take a la Senior Pink on, this is what, this is what men imagine a manly man to be like. And, this is like the man's man. And the fact that Oda's trying to play it off as serious as being like, no, this is legitimately what men look for, in a manly man. This is the kind of, when people think of what kind of the ideal man, Kozuki Oden is it. And it's kind of disappointing that we're just getting a rehash of, a bunch of different male characters that Oda's done before, kind of combined into one. And he's kind of spitting it out into being like, yes, this is the ideal image of what, men aspire to be. It's kind of pathetic, honestly, at this point. But even my bigger problem with, all of this aside, like putting aside everything else with Oden, this was a complaint I've had with Wano since kind of it started, because we're almost 50 chapters into the arc now. And Oda really hasn't done much to kind of explore a lot of the ideas he's put into Wano thus far. Because what little we know of Wano, we've kind of picked up from Kinemon and the others talking about it. We know it's a very conservative society. We know they've been secluded for a long time. We know they have some kind of caste system in the society. We know, the samurai apparently, the whole samurai warrior soul thing is apparently like deeply meaningful to the culture and everything. But we haven't really explored any of that and what it means. Like the caste system, we haven't seen, what does having a caste system mean inside of Wano? What are the different castes? How are they segregated in society? What roles and stuff do they maintain? It seems like Oda's dropping in these tidbits and expecting us to fill the blanks without giving us enough information to kind of fill in those blanks. And then when he drops in a character like Oden, the character reads very much like, he's kind of the rebellious rabble-rouser with the heart of gold. He's trying to challenge, the traditional conservative values of Wano. He's trying to, going back to the whole thing of him being like, oh, I'm feeling suffocated in this country. I don't feel like I can express myself freely and all that. But given that we don't know really what the values and things of Wano are, except for general, conservative values, there's kind of a gap between, what we're supposed to expect Wano is like, and what Oden is what Oden is rebelling against. And there's such a gap between those two kinds of concepts. It doesn't really hold to make him an inspiring character when you're reading something like this, and you see, that from a young age, Oden was, different, and kind of all of that. And so I don't know what Oda is going for with this, because it feels like he has too many ideas, but it feels like he doesn't feel like he has enough time to fully flesh them out and explore it. So he's trying to cram in as much as he can, as quickly as he can together to try to rush through this arc. And so far, it really kind of is suffering for it. And like, maybe this is, again, me being too harshly judgmental on something until we've seen kind of the bigger picture play out. Because we haven't gotten Oden's full flashback yet. And so, maybe Oda will, over time, in the next few chapters, kind of smooth out the rougher edges, as it were, to kind of give us a more fulsome and wholesome picture of, Oden and his relationship to the Scabbards, and maybe he'll use this flashback to finally really explore what Wano as a country is like, and kind of give us that background information we're looking for. But I also feel like that's consistently the problem we keep running into, or at least I keep running into when I keep talking about this, is it always feels like the expectation is, we need to just wait because the moment is coming when everything is going to click. The moment is coming. The moment is coming. And it feels like we always build up too many expectations for that moment when it inevitably does show up. And then you're disappointed on the first time when it doesn't live up to expectations. And even then, when you have the full picture and you go back to revisit it, it still doesn't live up to a lot of the potential that Oda promises a lot of the time. And like this was again a problem I talked about last week when I was reviewing it, is Oda spent too much time hyping up Oden leading up to this flashback, talking about what a phenomenal person he was and how great he was and how much everyone loved him and everything like that. So it feels like he's oversold an idealized image of what and who Oden is supposed to be. And now it feels like he's trying to make up for that by, doing the over exaggerated kind of feats for Oden. But I don't know like why exactly we're supposed to love Oden just from this little bit or be intrigued by him when there's nothing really unique about him as a character compared to, the hundreds of other male characters we've gotten throughout One Piece thus far. And this is maybe my semi-controversial take on this, is that if Oda had made Oden a woman, so much of this would read way differently and be way more intriguing. Because knowing what we know about how women are expected to behave, from what we've heard from Kinemon, what we've seen with Okiku when she's tried to do pretend to be what the expectation of women are. If Oden had been a woman who was doing the same things Oden right now is, and he was, and if Oden was a woman, and then they started doing the whole rebellious things and trying to overturn the conservative kind of values of Wano, that to me would have been a way more intriguing direction to take this story than having just another male character kind of try to be the progressive spearhead for this country. But this is Oda, and it's not really surprising that this is the direction he's going to take and he was going to go. But yeah, like so far this flashback I'm not feeling it at all. Maybe that will change going forward. I don't really expect it to, unless Oda does something really out of left field to come at me with it. Like you can obviously see that Oden's gonna kill the boar or do something or tame it, and again do the whole masculine strength thing. But yeah, even I talked about this last week on Twitter as well, like where I want to eventually talk about how masculinity is portrayed in One Piece, because I also feel like this is again another area where Oda gets too much credit for kind of pushing a progressive version of what men could be, when what he's really selling isn't really that progressive as much as we like to believe. Because it feels like Oda, with the way he portrays masculinity in One Piece, it feels like he's taking one step forward and then about 50 steps back, and it's become a lot worse since the post time skip stuff has happened. But that's a discussion that I'm probably going to save for something in the future. Because I mentioned on Twitter that I do want to next year sometime do a read through of One Piece from way from the beginning and go through this series, because I do have a lot of thoughts about it that I want to kind of go over with regards to storytelling, with regards to, you know, themes and ideas World explores in the series. And I don't feel like Twitter is the best platform for getting a lot of those ideas across in the way I want to. And even when you see how, you know, the other YouTubers going and doing videos talking about, you know, how Oden mirrors Luffy in this regard, or how Oda explores this theme and this theme in this arc, I don't feel like there's a very I don't feel like there's a very good, like, overall or overreaching kind of way to talk about all these themes and how they're done in the series as a whole. So hopefully next year when I do the One Piece read through, I'm going to do it on YouTube. And so hopefully with that, I can kind of hopefully put a lot of my ideas and criticisms into practice and kind of talk about it a little bit more in depth on here. But like I said, that's something for the future. I don't know, like, I hope Wano gets better from here, because so far this arc really hasn't hit me the way a lot of other arcs have. Like, even a lot of other arcs, you know, I've at least been entertained for a little bit, even if I haven't completely loved it. But Wano's been really middling kind of all the way through, so I'm hoping we're kind of getting to a point where we're going to see it finally start taking off. But yeah, I think I'm going to end my long ramble there. If anyone disagrees with anything I've said in this video, you know, if you have a counterpoint or a counter criticism that you'd like to drop, please feel free to either drop a comment in the video below or just hit me up on Twitter, you know, with your thoughts on that. I'm more than open to, you know, any kind of alternate interpretations of this chapter and of the character and stuff like that, and I'm more than willing to have a conversation about it. So definitely do hit me up on that. But apart from that, if you like my videos, please do, you know, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, because it really does help me, you know, kind of grow the channel and keep making content, bringing that to you. And yeah, so until next time, this is Ash. I'll talk to you all later.